This is GJRB Online on Spreaker, Clinton, Iowa.
Life in every American family. Watch Leave It to Beaver, another of the great shows every week on ABC TV.
Magic Ranch is presented by M.J. Holloway and Company, makers of that delicious bite-sized candy treat, Milk Duds. Chocolatey, caramely, and rich with milk.
News is big news on ABC TV. Whenever things happen, wherever things happen, ABC's expanded worldwide news staff is on the spot. On ABC, you get the news fast.
Andy Griffith Show will not be presented this evening. Lucy in London will return following station identification.
This is an NBC special news. This time hour has been brought to you by the Gulf Oil Corporation. American Profile, Home Country, USA. Friday night on NBC.
ABC TV, the network that brings you Follow the Sun every Sunday over most of these stations.
More of the half-aways in a moment. But first, this message from next week's host.
Pete and Gladys has been brought to you by primetime, the new decongestant capsule that gives up to 12 hours relief, all day or all night relief from head cold congestion. New
We'll be back next week at the same time.
Now, GJRB presents a program in nostalgia, trivia, retro rarities, including old station breaks, promos, classic commercials, and embedded spots for classic TV shows. And now, the Projection Room, featuring old drive-in movie intermissions and movie trailers. If you know the answers to the trivia questions, call Garyj at 563-613-4260, or answer them in the chat room in the GJRB public site by clicking the comic book icon on the GJRB Spreaker widget. This is Garyj's Radio and Television Classics on GJRB Online. And hello everyone, hello everywhere across America, listening on Spreaker on the internet from all over the place. Welcome aboard Garyj's Radio, Television, and Movie Classics on GJRB Online. This is a show that celebrates trivia in a lot of ways. I have a lot of really neat stuff on this program. I do trivia questions, and I play retro rarities from classic TV. It's just a fun time to be on this show. I do a lot of neat stuff, and glad you could be aboard. First off, as I mentioned earlier, that I need to change that opening because the phone number I do not use anymore. I have the phone, but I do not broadcast that number anymore. It is a dormant, the phone still works and it's not really a dormant number, but I choose not to broadcast that number anymore. But I'm going to right now open up my Skype, and you can contact me on Skype at Gary.Russin. I'll have that open. As a matter of fact, I'm going to click into it now and leave that opened. Let's see. And put in my password. And we'll be on our way into Skype. So Skype will be opened, and it is ready to go. And I am notified that I am online, and I'm there. Let's see, we got a lot of stuff here we're going to talk about. So just stick around. We got a great show lined up for you. We're going to do some trivia. I have a whole mess of stuff I'm going to be talking about. And classic TV as well. And we'll be doing that. I'll be opening up the line. Like I said, I'll be opening up the trivia questions, the mystery questions that we had on the last show that I'm going to have to answer for you, because no one really answered them. It just didn't answer them here. So we'll answer those for you. And also, later on, I'm going to do a show profile, something I'm going to like. We'll do a show profile on the on Andy Griffith series that was on the air. This is an Andy Griffith series that was replaced by an Andy Griffith series, although unusual. It was in the fact that CBS, I believe, made a mistake in having it on opposite the Partridge Family, because I believe at the time the ABC had drained the ratings from that particular series, and the ratings kind of drooped. So we're going to talk about that, and a lot of other stuff, including the TV. We have the 1969 TV listings for you for Saturday morning cartoons. We'll give you the rundown of all the cartoons from the CBS, ABC, and NBC lineup of cartoons. And this is relatively reduced show today because I usually the one that takes the dog out and takes care of the mail, so I had to do that real quick before I came back on. But, well, why don't we just go on at 2:30 and do a show till about 5, and we still have plenty of time to throw all this stuff in. And usually what I do is, if I don't get it on one show, we'll have it on the next one. And when I start up in January again, speaking of which, before I start anything, I want to mention that I just got a note from Iowa City. And I'll be going up there for another MRI here, like real soon. Matter of fact, around the 20th, close to Christmas. So let's see what happens in the months ahead here, especially in January. So what's going to happen with our programming and how things are going to change. I'm going to be doing a GJRB schedule update podcast the last week of November, right after Thanksgiving. And I will talk about the program schedule and how we're changing it a little bit here. So we're not going to get too far ahead. I thought we'd just kind of start off by going into our radio, television, and movie classics right now and get started on the show, because it's time now to start Gary J's radio, television, and movie classics. And what a way to start it off a little bit here with the original opening and the original sponsors of the Addams Family. Yeah, the original ABC opening at the time it was on. Yeah, and just recently Antenna had a marathon around Thanksgiving, around Halloween. I watched a little bit. I always liked the Addams Family, though, you know.
The tea.
Get a witch's shawl on, a broomstick you can crawl on. We're gonna pay a call on the Addams Family.
The Addams Family, brought to you by Crest Toothpaste, proved effective against cavities in test after test after test. Over 12 years of tests. Crest.
Yeah, I told you I found some rare sponsors and opening billboards for Dennis the Menace. Here's a cast spot. Kellogg's bought a lot of this show.
Alice, where's my cereal?
I'm looking for it now, dear.
Upstairs?
I brought home a fresh supply of Rice Krispies only yesterday.
What are the Rice Krispies doing up here?
Dennis likes to keep them handy, just in case of Martians.
There's a turtle in there.
Oh, then the Rice Krispies must be here in the toy chest.
Yeah.
You don't suppose we're giving Dennis too much energy with this important nourishment of whole grain rice?
Kellogg's knows best, dear.
K-E-double-L-O double good Kellogg's best to you.
Fabulous. Of course, like all the other shows, they every once in a while, I usually catch this on one of the other channels. They'll show one of the Kellogg sponsors at the bottom of the screen. I always wanted to see those. It takes me back. I remember when they used to do that in the credits at the end all the time. And let's go. I think there's another opening here for that very same show. And again, Kellogg's putting the sponsor on this. No, I didn't really hear this show up until a certain point. I started seeing this in rerun. Here we go.
By Kellogg's, the best to you each morning.
K-E-double-L, double good Kellogg's, best to you.
Yeah, and then they have some of the cast commercials. Now, like I was saying before, I would, before my time, and it probably is, but I don't know, I think it was that I was not allowed to watch this show for bad influence purposes, I think. But I still enjoy it now in reruns. Dennis the Menace sponsors there from way back. I'm Gary J. Russ, and I hope you're enjoying the program. Gary J's radio, television, and movie classics. We're going to go to some more network billboard sponsors. I like doing those. I have fun with these. Some are stuff from the Twilight Zone and a few other classic programs, early TV advertisements, because it takes me back in time. This is the CBS opening.
Presents this program in color.
Yeah. This is a Lucy Show opening. Not sure what year.
The Lucy Show.
I don't remember it opening like that.
Starring Lucille Ball. Co-starring Gail Gordon. Brought to you by Tony, creator of fine beauty products for the woman who prefers the natural look of beauty care at home.
The Lucy Show.
Much more billboards of the Lucy Show, of course. Up in different ways, this show did. It wasn't always the same.
Co-starring Vivian Vance.
It's the black and white ones here.
Brought to you by Swan.
Swan.
New pink liquid Swan for dishes.
I believe my mother used this. Anybody use the Swan soap?
The whole job's done.
Dish soap?
The Lucy Show was brought to you by New Lux. New in shape. New in luxury. It softens as it cleanses. New Lux.
Lux as another sponsor. And we've got a lot of them here. A lot of good ones. So we just kind of save a little bit for the next show. Got more bumpers. I'm going to take a look and see if we have any more real good ones on here. I believe there are for some cartoons, including a cartoon cast for Top Cat and Kellogg's.
Yeah, Kellogg's cornflakes. Oh, I can hardly wait.
Kellogg's cornflakes? He shouldn't wait.
Back when the cartoons, those good ones, were in prime time.
Hello, DC. Fancy you, Romeo. You got a dinner date.
Yeah.
Let me give you a few pointers. First, just sweep her off her feet.
Ain't we just having cornflakes?
How can you think of food at a time like this?
Yeah.
Haven't you dreamed of this baby as I have?
Yeah.
You're on your own, boy.
Hello, Fancy.
Haven't you dreamed of this baby as I have?
Fresh.
Oh, troubles, Fancy. I'll fix you some
Yeah.
cornflakes. Best flavor. Here's the best dinner date in the world.
Where?
Here, a delicious bowl of Kellogg's cornflakes shared with a nose and trusted friend.
Yeah, another show I don't remember very well. It's called 12 O'Clock High. Of course, I was probably too young yet, but I'm going to look for this series.
Paul Burt. Also starring Chris Robinson, with guest stars David Frankham, Richard Anderson. Tonight's episode, To Seek and Destroy. Brought to you by
Ford Motor Company, makers of these fine cars.
And they're advertising the Ford Thunderbird, Mercury, all these good cars. Solid. And gotta tell you, folks, I don't know what it is, but they're at 12 O'Clock High. I remember it running, I think it was on MeTV for a while there, but they used to run it at an ungodly hour. Like, I'd like to see that sometime. But it seems like they always run all those good shows in the middle of the night when they like to watch them. But, because they have to DVR that one if I ever see that run in the middle of the night. 12 o'clock high. And, of course, the Lone Ranger rides again.
Presented by General Mills, makers of Cheerios, the oat cereal ready to eat, and Sweeties, breakfast of champions.
The original...
Special report tomorrow.
The original opening there to the Lone Ranger with its original sponsor, General Mills, which I believe sponsored it on the radio too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think they did sponsor it on radio as well. Anybody know about that? Drop me a line on that. I think they did. So let's go to something else here. I'm going to pop in and see if I can open up another new window here, because I find that once in a while it somehow freezes my Spreaker here over here, and I'm not sure if I'm broadcasting or not, so I usually double check to make sure. Okay, we're going to go here now. I'm going to pop in and play something else here that I thought was kind of interesting. Here on Radio, Television, Movie Classics, here on GJRB Online. We're doing that trivia stuff. We got coming up, we're going to do the trivia questions here in a little bit. And then we're going to take a program break a little close to the top of the hour, and then we'll come back and continue with Radio, TV, Movie Classics. And I've got some more really good stuff here, so we're going to continue. Let's pop in and take a look at some more sponsors. And we got one here, Tide Advertising. Take a look at this one. Okay. Got some commercials here and sponsors for Get Smart with,
13.
86.
Anything to report?
Top secret. New bright white Pepsodent with zirconium silicate gets teeth bright white.
Gotcha. New Pepsodent with saccharinium choliate.
Zirconium clilamate.
Saccharinium choliate.
Circulamin.
Having a little bit of fun with that name.
Zirconium silicate gets teeth bright white.
Gotcha.
Kids showed them up. Yeah.
Get Smart has been brought to you by Lieber Brothers, makers of new bright white Pepsodent, now with a special polishing agent, zirconium silicate, to get even hard-to-whiten teeth their whitest.
Now from ABC or something, on ABC, let's check this out. This Father Knows Best.
Father Knows Best, brought to you by Maxwell House Coffee, good to the last drop. Another fine product of General Foods.
Gilligan's Island has been brought to you by Sea and Ski, America's sun specialist, makers of indoor-outdoor tanning lotion. Tans without the sun or with it.
And of course, my favorite,
Andy Griffith Show.
Andy Griffith Show.
Starring Andy Griffith. With Ronnie Howard. And Francis Bavier. Brought to you by General Foods, makers of Jell-O Gelatin, the light dessert with fresh fruit taste.
Yeah. Okay.
Taste.
Oh, wait. Made a mistake. It was right next door to it. Here's the...
Leave It to Beaver has been brought to you by Ralston Purina, makers of the Eager Eater dog food, Purina Dog Chow.
And how?
This portion of Checkmate
Okay, I don't remember Checkmate.
Texaco.
But there's
and your
Texaco.
dealers
The way
in
I
all
remember
50
it.
states, where you can trust your car to the man who wears the star.
The Fugitive has been brought to you by
The Fugitive.
Viceroy Cigarettes. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Viceroy, another quality product of the Brown and Williamson Tobacco Corporation. And by Remington Shavers, makers of the new Remington 25 and the cord or cordless Remington Electronic 2.
And of course, all those tobacco companies kind of went out of business after the warning on smoking and the lack of the fact that they could not advertise anymore. So I think that that probably killed a lot of those those tobacco companies bought a lot of TV time. Boy, oh boy, they had sponsored almost every show. Gary Chase Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. Hope you're enjoying the program, and got more coming up, including our trivia questions, and then we're going to take a break here close to the hour and be right back with more Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. Hope you're enjoying the program where you are across America. And if you are a listener to the program and want to jump in on the trivia, I'd love to have you participate. And I've got my Skype opened, so you can join that way. Also, you can answer it on the GJRB online here on Spreaker, right, by going into the chat room and talking to me, giving me answers right there, and or on Twitter. I'm the Radio Maniac, so drop on in and see if we can answer some trivia questions. I got TV Cities coming up. That's a really fun trivia game we got coming up, so you might want to check into that one. TV Cities coming up on Radio, Television, and Movie Classics here on GJRB Online. I'm Gary J. Russin. Hope you're enjoying the program, and we'll be coming right back with some of those answers to some of those mystery questions that I had up from the last show, and we're going to do that coming up. Some of the answers to some of those, we'll do those a little bit, and then we'll take a break across the hour, and then we'll continue with some of those mystery trivia questions and see if anybody can answer them. I got a bunch of them that that I kind of brought in, and come on in. Love to hear from you. Gary J's Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. This is the fun place to do trivia. Classic television, and later on we'll do Americana, which was and is no more. I've got some more stuff to talk about. That rubber Super Bowl, we talked about that last time. We got a few more others, and we'll kind of since some of the females are our audience, the old curling irons and stuff, we'll get into that. All coming up on Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. Hope you're enjoying the show, and maybe you want to participate in some of the trivia questions we got coming up a little later on here. And got a lot of really good ones. And maybe you have a few of them that you know the answer to. Well, more than likely you're welcome to join in and answer them. Because I have a few really good... you can stump me, too, if you want. I mean, if you stump me, well, I don't have no prize closets. As I've told you before, I don't do prize closets. I don't have one, unfortunately. But I can at least acknowledge you on the air that you stump me. We can do that. So it's all coming up as we continue. Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. And the music is playing for another bright holiday of programming. This year, more Christmas music with American Christmas Jukebox and more shows and more of your favorite Christmas classics. Christmas service from Christian Community Fellowship Church. Classic radio with a Christmas Carol starring Lionel Barrymore as Scrooge from a CBS Campbell's Playhouse with Orson Welles from Christmas Eve 1939. It's a bright holiday to remember, starting Saturday, November 25th on GJRB. We all run a busy schedule, and maybe we don't have time to catch the Gary Russa program. Well, here's the solution. The best of the Gary Russa program, highlighting the most memorable parts of recent shows. Each podcast I will play clips of previous shows and talk about them. Watch for podcast uploads during the GJRB's podcast weekend on GJRB's public site on Spreaker. Reflecting on the past memories of past shows. The best of the Gary Russin program on GJRB. Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them, help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help. We all run a busy schedule, and maybe we don't have time to catch the Gary Russa program. Well, here's the solution. The best of the Gary Russa program, highlighting the most memorable parts of recent shows. Each podcast I will play clips of previous shows and talk about them. Watch for podcast uploads during the GJRB's podcast weekend on GJRB's public site on Spreaker. Reflecting on the past memories of past shows. The best of the Gary Rustin program on GJRB. End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. Noon Central on GJRB. And this is Garyj's Radio, Television, and Movie Classics, a show celebrating the days of classic television, radio, and we do all kinds of trivia stuff. It's just a lot of fun to hook into this and really do a lot of trivia. Coming up here after the hour, I'm going to be back, and we're going to get into the trivia questions that I want to answer from our last part of our show. And we're going to do that, and then we're going to go into retro primetime. Take a look at the TV lineup for Sunday night in 1972. Talk about some of those shows, and all coming your way. So I hope you'll stay with me here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. Garyj's Radio, Television, and Movie Classics. And we'll share some trivia and answer some stuff and make this show kind of interesting by just having fun, talking about the past and remembering some of those good old days. That's what we kind of do here on GJRB Online. And kind of fun to reminisce about those good old days. So that's what we're doing right here on GJRB Online. This is where it's happening. And we'll be right back. I got more coming up next on radio, television.